she came to the party with you.
She came with me. Yes.
How was that?
That's when I started getting them haters. I would say that's the first person that paid me my worth because I didn't even know what my worth was at that time.
What is something else that you think that people don't understand about being in your position as a stylist?
What's going on? It's your boy Ryan Christopher, and I am here at the Sowing Seeds podcast with my girl Nicole Mays Jackson.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Sowing Seed podcast where fashion meets faith and every stitch tells a story. I'm your girl, Nicole Mays Jackson, and today, baby, this story is stitched with flair, favor, and a lot of fire from the South. You've seen the looks, the clients, the captions, but today we're peeling back the layers on the man behind the magic. He styled legends, shut down red carpets, and coined a whole movement. But beneath the bold silhouettes and the fly tailoring is a journey of grit, grace, and a whole lot of God. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and style lovers, let's get Ryanized, okay, baby? So welcome to the show, the one, the only, my friend, because he my friend. I don't know if he know it yet, Ryan Christopher.
Come on, every stitch has a story.
Every stitch has
like
a story.
That.
You like that?
I like that.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you're here today.
I am happy I could be here. I am proud and happy that you even invited me to come here. So, I am just always elated to do things like this and get to tell people some things that they may or may not know about me.
Yes. Now, it was struggle to get here today.
It was, let me tell you. It was. So, I'm already a person that don't like to sit at the airport. And today when I got there, it was just literally, I have never seen TSA pre-check lines so long.
I know.
Literally.
I know.
I literally had to, on the spot, reinactivate my clear because
Call me, stress me out. Call me and stress me out.
The clear pre-check line was moving faster than the pre-check, and I still wouldn't have made it. And the people, nice people at Clear, allowed me to skip the line, and that's kind of what I still had to run. I was out of breath. And everything
he was
on the
out
plane.
of breath on the phone.
My God,
he was out of breath, but he made it. And I already knew. I said, God, if it is meant for Ryan to be here, and you want this show to happen, he gonna make it happen, and that's what he did.
And I'm here.
And we here.
I'm here.
So let's get started. I always like to talk about how we first met. So every time someone comes on the show, if I've met them before, it's only been a few people that I haven't met, but if I've met you in person, how did we meet? And so I'm going to start off by saying...
Oh, that verse.
I'm going to say it in the nicest way. I ain't going to scare them. I ain't going to scare them, child. I ain't going to scare them. But I was hosting an event in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is basically a phone book. It's basically a catalog of work.
That's correct.
So I came across your page, which I had already been following you. And so I was like...
Was you following me for
I
real?
I was. I really was.
Okay.
I was already following
And that's what
you.
the people always love to say. I was following you.
I really was, y'all. And so I said, okay, let me reach out to him and see if, he would be able to style me for this event because, I like to come looking correct. And so you came to the hotel. I talked to you first. And when I talked to you off the rip, you were always very humble, very nice, very just down to earth and to yourself. Like, because when you look at someone and you look at their page and you're like, okay, they've worked with this person, this person, this person. I'm thinking I'm going to get, you're not thinking that you're going to get that down to earth person, right?
I know how people can be.
Oh, yeah.
I know how people can be.
And so talking to you, and then when you came to the hotel room, that solidified everything for me because, you were super funny. It was like I was talking to like a brother or somebody that I knew of, that I already knew. And so it was just, we talked, and we was up late that night.
We were. Yeah, you had me up late.
Yeah, we was up late that night.
Now tell the people how you gave me hell all the way though. You know, don't tell that side of the story.
So I did give him a hard time because I just had a different look in mind, and he likes to pull people out of their comfort zone and out the box. But I will say, you do things to match people's personality. You enhance them. But you know, it's a little push. I gave you a lot of push.
A lot of push.
I gave you a lot of push.
A lot of push.
I gave you a lot of push, and then we end up being at the Ghetto Awards. And let me not say that. We end up being at the awards.
Yes.
And one thing that still has me laughing to this day, and it came across a memory in my phone. I'm gonna tell y'all, do you know that this man had a manicurist come to the hotel where we were at while he was waiting to get his nails done?
I mean, what's wrong with that?
What you mean? What's wrong with that?
I needed a manicure.
It was too funny
that
for me.
weekend was a very busy weekend.
It was very busy.
And so I was like, hey, pull up, you know.
Pull up. It was, but I will tell you, that weekend was real stressful for me, and it was really a traumatic weekend.
And see, telling stuff like
that,
that's
really
what made people. That's what make people think that I'm so here.
Yeah.
When people tell stories like that about me, and I feel like that is so normal. I feel like it's normal, and I think people look at my Instagram and think one thing. And I'm such a normal, like I am literally normal. I know this faith and this Christian show, so I can't cuss, but you know, I am normal.
You are. And what I was getting to was that night was very traumatic for me, and it was horrible. And I remember I was crying, and I remember you talking to me, and you was like, you know, you had yourself together. Don't worry. You was encouraging me. And I still remember that to this day. And what I'm saying is that you showed me, like, you know, that you cared and that you saw it. And so you are a normal person. You bougie, but you still normal.
You learn that you cannot say yes to everything.
Oh, tell me about
Especially in Atlanta.
Oh, now I'm gonna tell you, and we had this conversation, and I'm gonna get back on track because I know I'm gonna get back on track. But in Atlanta, we talk, and I've had this conversation with you too, where we've said that a lot of times, a lot of people in Atlanta, I hate to say the word scammers, but like they're not truthful of what they're presenting.
Mirrors.
It's smoke and mirrors. And so I received a lot of that. You know, when you're trying to get into the industry and trying to make a name for yourself and make yourself known, you know, you want to do what it takes. And so you start, you know, doing other things, and then you realize baby, you cannot, because they waiting for you. They waiting for you. They waiting for you, child.
It's a hustle. I mean, and I think they take hustle. A lot of people take hustle in Atlanta to a whole new level. And it's a grind. And I think there's a difference between being thirsty for what you know you can do and what your passion is and what your gift is versus being thirsty for just anything and just to be in the spotlight and then, you know, be around the entertainers and the celebrities and the TV personalities and all that, just to be seen.
Right.
I mean, I think that is a, you know, that is a drug that a lot of people are addicted to.
It is.
Unfortunately.
It is. It is. And so let's get into it. Before you even moved to Atlanta, before you were Ryan Christopher, you were Christopher Ryan Clark, okay?
But I still am Christopher Ryan Clark now.
You still are now.
I still am. That is me. He is me.
He is you. So before all of that, tell me about your upbringing and who you are true at heart.
My upbringing was really well. I mean, my parents, shout out to my parents, my mom and my dad, they were both very, very hard workers. My sister and I mean, we had everything that we wanted, everything we needed. Well, not everything we wanted. We had most of the things we wanted. They were great providers, still are great providers to this day. And I think, you know, my mom and my dad, they both worked, you know, were 9-to-5 workers. My sister went on to 9-to-5 workers. Didn't necessarily work out for me.
Right.
That wasn't my path. And I think, you know, to tell your parents that I want to be a stylist, I think that's something that wasn't that wasn't really known. Like it was like, whoa, well, I didn't even know people got paid to put clothes together. So I know they were looking like, okay, boy, you need to go once you finish school, you need to go get you a real job, which I did.
You did.
I did.
But like when you were little,
and I got fired.
But when you were younger, like when you were growing up, like did you always say like I want to be a stylist? Like what made you like what was that like before that? Like what made you say, you know, hey, I want to be a stylist? But when you were younger, like what was your dream? What were you thinking about?
I don't even really remember. I remember my mom used to keep me and my sister really fly and all in all the latest and stuff. And I do remember though in high school I always said I wanted to be a buyer. And that was one of the things I wanted to do. So kind of sort of am a buyer, but just not for a department store, just kind of another type of buyer. But yeah, when I was in high school I always said I wanted to be a buyer. That was my goal. And then when I learned more about styling, that took a great interest in me. And then I started to work under a stylist in Atlanta by the name of Shawn Melson.
She was here in Houston this weekend. This past weekend, she really was.
Did you see her?
I did not have to. I didn't get a chance to go, but I saw that she was at a candle shop and she had like she had a couple of things out. Yeah, she was here. She was here this weekend. I saw that.
That's who I worked under. Yes,
I saw that. I saw that. But before you worked under her and before you were at Miles, like when did you know that you had an eye for style before you go to that section? Like when did you know that? Like were you in high school? Like when did you start seeing stuff like
can't even really remember.
Really?
Like I can't
It's nothing that stick out to say like
no, like I remember like I will say in college I noticed that my taste level was a little high.
I'm gonna tell you, I know because I don't know if this was before,
I
but
can say
let
that.
me tell you, when I saw, okay, so I love to do my research on everyone, and so I saw a picture of you in a gray Versace suit, and you had
that wasn't me.
That was. You want me to pull the phone out? It was gray. It was an all gray suit. You had a short haircut, and it was for a newspaper article in Birmingham.
Now, where do you get that suit was Versace? Because that was not Versace. I don't think it was.
Oh, that's what it said. It said it was Versace. I read it. That's what it said. He wear a gray Versace suit.
It may have been because in that time I had created some great relationships with people in Saks Fifth Avenue in Birmingham and some other stores. And I will honestly tell you, they were really, really vital to like my career back then. You know, allowing me to come in. I was the only stylist back then that could go in the store and pull.
Wow.
And not only that, you know, I was black.
Exactly.
I was a male.
Right.
There was a PR, which I can't remember if she was the PR director or the marketing director for Saks at the time, but Ginger Jefferson, I remember her, and I will never forget her. She was literally amazing to me. I can remember going in, and I was going to buy and return a dress, and she actually let me pull it. They actually tailored it and everything. And she was vital for me doing things like when I did stuff with the newspaper in Birmingham, allowed me to wear clothes. Right. She even allowed me to pull jewelry out the store. They had to get a carrier service to bring it to the set, though. But she allowed that, and I think back then, I don't think a lot of people was too privy to seeing me like, oh, why this little black boy get to come in here and take the clothes out the store? Right. And we got to, you know, and so that took an end. But for her to support me in that way was really, really important. And Nancy Thompson was another person at Saks that really, really supported my endeavors back then. And I threw fashion shows at Saks in Birmingham.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Now, I know you put on fashion shows in college.
I did, yes.
I did know that. And so you also did them at Saks too.
I did. Yes.
Wow.
I did.
You was a big thing.
And I think back then, to your point of people, why I am who I am today, I think back then I had the attitude like, oh, don't say nothing to me. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But I was much younger. I hadn't really experienced anything. And then when I started to meet people who I had grown up and seen on TV, and they were so cool and humble, I think that I got to see another part of that lifestyle. And I think that really kind of humbled me because I'm like, well, these people I grew up watching on TV and they everyday people.
Right.
And it goes to the point of, I always say, it's always the ones that ain't doing nothing. They got the nastiest attitudes. And I am a testament to that because back then I wasn't really doing SICHIT and not like that. You know, I was just doing local stuff.
Yeah.
And here I am you would think I'm Andre Leon Talley or somebody. So I am a true testament of, you know, people who, and I'm not saying not doing nothing, but not where they, in their mind, they think they somewhere else. I think they come off with a very kind of grandiose kind of attitude.
Yeah.
I do think I have a natural aura about myself that can never be taken away.
You do.
But I think once you get past that exterior, which most people do, you'll see I'm cool. Like I'm cool as ice.
You are. So let me ask you this. So you talked about you know, your parents and the 9 to 5. So when you said I want to be a stylist, what did your mom and what's your family say?
I don't think my mom was too happy.
Look, was this before or after college? This was after college.
This was after college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think she was happy that I got fired. I don't think she was.
What you got fired for, Ryan?
I really want to know.
I just.
So you know, these folks at these jobs, these what they call them now, is it Nancy?
The Karens. The Karens.
Yeah, we had some Karens at my job. And I don't know what they call the male version of a Karen, but they were definitely Karens. I had actually clocked a friend in. He was running late from lunch, and I clocked him in. Somebody saw it, and they told.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But I hated that job anyway.
I know. So what would you say was the biggest no that shaped you into who you are?
The biggest no.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The biggest no. Like, what was your, like... Or let me say this. What about the first no that shaped you? The first no.
I am trying to remember the first no that I received. And I'm going to say this because, you know, I started in Birmingham. I started reaching out to entertainers and offering my services. And that's really kind of how I got, you know, outside of interning, that's how I kind of really catapulted. But I didn't receive a lot of no's doing that, to be honest with you. I think.
And even not from people, just in life. Like, what was your no that, like, shaped you?
Okay. This is a good one. So there's a school in Birmingham, Alabama School of Fine Arts. And that's where I wanted to go to high school. I mean, Alabama School of Fine Arts makes sense, right?
Right.
I knew, at that time, I didn't know I wanted to be a stylist, but I knew kind of like, you know, I want to do something artistic. And I didn't get in. Like, you had to, it was like applying to college, literally. And they told me, no, sir.
So how did that...
And then when I wanted to go to Ramsey High School, which is a school for, like, quote unquote, the smart kids.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be smart. Yeah. Didn't pass that test either.
I ain't passed that test either.
Now, I ain't dumb by far, but I didn't pass that one either. Yeah. So I think those two things just says, you know, you just have to keep going. Because I still went to what is kind of known as what is known as a semi-prestigious school in Birmingham, which is John Carroll Catholic High School. But I think it just installs something in me that, you know, you just keep going and you don't, you know, you just don't stop. You know, you may get a no, but somebody will say yeah. And that doesn't mean that you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, or you don't have the talent.
Right. And sometimes it's for your protection.
And sometimes you have too much talent.
Yeah. It really can be that. So I want to go back to your 9 to 5, okay?
Okay.
So I know that, you know, you said you got fired, child, which was a blessing, really. So
essentially.
You say essentially. So after that, like, did you say, all right, I got fired from this 9 to 5, I'm about to take styling on full time?
No. So when I got fired, I started doing, and I was still doing background work, like for movies and stuff. And I did a lot with Tyler Perry.
And I saw that. I saw that you did a lot of background work. But you give me film. You give me, like, performing arts. You give that.
And it was fun, but oh my God, you be there all day not doing nothing. They treat you like little peons and, you know. But I met some really, really great people who I still to this day kind of keep in contact with on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met some incredible people doing that. With Tyler Perry, it was a show called Drop Dead Diva on Lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Like those were some those were some interesting times, but I'm telling you, being on that set all day,
It opened up your
and
eyes.
it was just like, Jesus, this how this go. But I got to see how a movie works, how a movie works, and I think I will say one experience I had doing Drop Dead Diva, and I think that was Rosie O'Donnell that was on that show. She was very pleasant to all of us. She came into the set, she spoke to everyone, and it's so funny. The girl that played the main character in Drop Dead Diva, she came in, she didn't speak to anybody at all, and then she stopped herself and she said, "Hey, everybody, I'm just trying to, get my lines down." You know what I'm saying? I forgot. I walked in and didn't even say anything. And I was like, I started to say, I said, well, these are much more nicer than these. Yeah. Much more pleasant.
It just opened up your eyes to the whole world. It did.
And I didn't want to, and I think even going back, I didn't want to ever come off as that person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever want to come off as elitist or rude or any type of thing.
You don't get that.
I think that extras, like I said, they look at you like you peon, especially on set. They treat you like you're a peon. But I mean, you're a very it's an important part of a TV show or a movie.
You are.
Because if y'all ain't got no people in the background, it's not going to make it realistic.
It's not going to make it realistic. So what would you say is that fear? What was that fear? Or what fear, how can I say it? What made you take the leap? Like, what made you put the fear behind you to say, all right, this what we doing?
I can't say, but that's nothing but God. Because let me tell you something. I stayed at home until I was 30-something, until I moved to Atlanta, which...
and when did you actually move to Atlanta? Because you were in Birmingham. So how long have you been in... You've been in Atlanta for a minute.
2017 is when I moved.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I moved in 2017, so I've been there almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years... Tomorrow's April.
Yeah. So did you have to silence like anything to say, all right, Ryan, I can do this. Like, this is what we're doing. We're doing styling full time. We're, we moving to Atlanta.
Well, I took a job making $15 an hour at Macy's. I was a visual lead. I thought that was something that would give me some stability.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things why I didn't want to move. And of course, living at home, you kind of, just complacent, living at home.
Right.
And, I didn't want to be like, continue living with my parents. And so I took the job. And I say to anybody out there, never move to another state making $15 an hour. But I did. And that wasn't the job for me.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Sure.
So I still say I attribute all that to God, though. Like, I think it was something, because I probably would have never moved. People thought that I lived in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And people tell me I should move to LA now. So it's just like,
sir. You're not going to LA.
They always say that. But I'm like, it took me this long to move to Atlanta.
Right.
Trust me, it's going to take me a little bit longer to move to LA.
And so was this not, when you quit your 9-to-5 and when you took that leap before this, you had already styled Robin Givens, Lisa Ray.
Met all them in Birmingham.
You have met all of them in Birmingham. I saw that you styled Jennifer Williams too as well. I heard that was Birmingham as well when they came in. So I was just like, so you've done all of that. And then to come back to like, okay, what's next? Like, you was just like, I'm like, this is it. Like, we moving.
Yeah, and those are the things that I think people did not know at that time, because when I met Erica from Love and Hip Hop, I think that's when I started getting popular.
Right.
And people thought that Erica gave me my star, and I was like, no.
No, I've been doing this.
Yeah.
I've been doing this, and I saw that y'all are like really close. Like y'all have a really, really good relationship.
Yeah, I spoke to her when I was on the plane.
You did?
I did.
Yes. So
I told him I was gonna spill all the tea on them. I can't say what I said to her, but I just said
don't
I was
have them Love and Hip Hop people. Don't have them over here mad at us. No. So let me ask you this. So being that, when would you say, or who is the first person that actually paid you what you were worth? Like when you started styling and you had your first full-time, client, who would you say paid you what you was worth?
I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
So at the time when I was offering my services, Lisa Ray accepted, as you know. And of course, I offered my services for free. So I wasn't expecting any type of payment.
Right.
She did 2 things that weekend. Magic City Classic is a huge weekend
I saw
in
it. It's just like
Birmingham.
how for us Grambling and Southern is the Bayou Classic.
Yes.
So that's how it is for Alabama for y'all.
Yeah, it's a huge.
I saw that.
Huge.
And I saw you tweeted her too. So you did a tweet and you asked for someone.
tweeted somebody.
You tweeted someone. They got the information to her manager.
They sent. So the person that actually responded to the tweet was there was a guy that made some shoes for Jennifer Williams for me.
Okay.
His manager saw the tweet, and I think she was either from Chicago or something like that. But she texted me the who I needed to text.
Okay.
But I will say that weekend, she did 2 things. One, a friend of mine was having a party doing Classic.
Okay.
And she actually came with me to the party.
Okay. So she came to the party with you.
She came with me, yes.
How was that?
That's when I started getting them haters.
Having Lisa Ray at a party with you.
That's when I started getting them. That's when I
Lisa
started getting them haters in Birmingham. But yes, she actually came to the party with me.
Oh, they was mad at you. They was mad at you.
She didn't stay entirely long, but she came. She did come, and she gave me. She sent me a gift afterwards to say thank you, and it was a monetary gift.
Okay.
And I was like, that spoke volumes. So I would say that's the first person that paid me my worth because I didn't even know what my worth was at that time. So those 2 things, and when you think of having an entertainer come to you for a party and they charge $10,000 to make an appearance, I think that says a lot. You know what I mean? And I had just met her. You know what I'm saying? I had just met her that Friday, maybe.
That says a lot about her character and who she is as a woman, too, and as a person.
Oh, she's a great person. Yeah. I got to work with her again through when she was doing Queen's Court. And so that was really good. I got a chance to see her. I mean, it's been doing her in Birmingham had been over 12, probably about over 12 years ago. I've been in Atlanta for almost 8 years, so it's been a very long time.
So it was good to reconnect.
It was, yes.
So now in this part of the segment, we are going to do Style Story. This is the first time I've done this, and I'm excited. Now I had to pull, had
to dig deep.
I had to dig deep.
Okay.
I had to dig deep on Instagram. So what we're going to do is we're going to name the look like it's part of a fashion collection.
Okay.
You got it. And then you're going to tell us the story behind the look.
Okay.
All right. And then what did that moment teach you?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So let's get started with this first one. So what is the name of this fashion collection?
Wow. I would call that Rocker Girl.
Okay, Rocker Girl.
My girl Masika. I love this photo. We love that jacket.
The hair.
The hair, everything. We had so much fun that day doing that. Oh my God. So Rocker Chick is the name of the look. The story behind this look, we got together to do some photos, and I was like, I was with it. Yeah. And I will say the story that I learned behind that, or one thing I can say is that everybody is not the way that sometimes TV portrays people. They're not necessarily like that in person.
Believe me,
I love Masika. She's very cool.
Yeah.
Very bougie as hell. But she cool. She cool. She cool.
That photo was such a good photo of her. Like, I loved the look. It was different.
I was shocked to see that. Yeah.
Of her hair. I loved everything about that look. I love the shoes. I know you love glasses and shoes, child. So I was like, did you pick them shoes out? Because those shoes were
I definitely put them with them. I can't remember if they were her shoes and I just kind of went through her shoes. I actually brought them to set, but either way, I did pick the shoe to go with that. But it looked good.
Yeah,
God, it was
love that look.
bomb.
It was different. So
Oh,
we're gonna go
God.
to the next one so we
Okay.
can see what fashion collection is this one.
We're gonna call this white chic.
Okay, white chic. You know that she love white. She
Yes,
only white.
yes. So the story behind this, which we've kind of already spoke about,
did.
this is the first time I met Lisa Ray and offered my services to her. I literally went tooth and nail getting things. I can remember even going negative in my account trying to get stuff sent to Birmingham for her.
Wow.
This experience is really what really started Ryan Christopher.
Yes.
And one thing I can say I learned from this picture and this experience is that you never know. Like, I felt people were sending me jewelry and things of like that. So just being a go-getter and putting yourself out there and, you know, going after things, you never know what you may achieve.
Yeah. I agree. I love that. The next one. Yes. She was recently here too.
Oh, wow. She is amazing. Let me say that first. And will they see these pictures? Okay.
Yes, they're gonna see it.
Just amazing. Let me tell you something. When I got the call to do the Netflix special for I Am Monique comedy special, I don't really know that I understood the lividity of what I was about to do. You know, not only the promo shot, but, you know, to actually do her for the actual show. And I still sometimes don't think I understand the lividity of what I did.
Yeah.
We're going to just call this, oh, God. When I look at this photo, I see nothing but class.
Nothing but class. Hair.
So we're going to call this Class Act.
Okay, Class Act.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, nothing but class. And she's a very classy lady. I learned a lot of things from being around her. And one thing in particular is to always tell people, like, thank you.
Yes.
That was one thing I noticed that she did backstage when someone did something for her. She asked someone to do something. She made sure she said, thank you. And what a lot of people don't know is Netflix submitted me for an Emmy for that. Yeah, I didn't get the nomination, but being submitted, I think, was when I got the email, I literally thought it was a joke. And so I saw her daughter maybe not too long ago. And I said, did y'all know did y'all know Netflix was submitting that for an Emmy? And she was like, of course we knew. She was like, yeah. I was like, well, why y'all didn't say nothing to me? She was like, they emailed me, and I'm like, this ain't. I was literally sitting at the Daiquiri Factory, eating and drinking, and I'm sitting there like, okay, this ain't this. I'm reading it like,
this
nah,
ain't
this
real.
ain't real. This ain't real. So, that one thing I learned from that, you never know who's watching. She saw me from T.S. Madison.
Wow.
Yes. So you never know who's watching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's get into the next one.
I love it.
I'm telling you, we came through.
Oh, God. So I'm going to name this look first. African Goddess.
Yes.
This is so creative to me. Elise Neal. I love Elise Neal. It's so funny. I was a huge fan of hers before meeting her. I don't think I've ever told her this, but I actually met her right after she did Scream 2. I was in the airport. My parents were taking us to Jamaica. I had just graduated. Was I graduating high school? I think so. I think I was graduating high school, and my sister was graduating college, or something like that. And I saw her in the airport. I'm a huge Scream fanatic. I love Scream.
Who didn't love Scream?
And she was at a Burger King in the airport, and we were in Atlanta. And I just tapped her on her shoulder, and I said, I loved you in Scream 2. And she's like, oh, thank you, and thank you for being discreet. Now, years later, I have worked with her several times. But I don't think I've ever told her that story.
Really?
I don't think I've ever told that story. But that look, she was in Atlanta doing a movie. I think she plays like a boxing coach or something. And that's why she had the braids. And she was like, Ryan, I've never had braids. And this girl made this braid wig, and it's so dope. She's like, I just want to do.
It was a wig? Ooh.
She said it looked so good. And if Elise say something look good, it looks good. My girl, my girl is particular.
Okay,
and she know what she want,
and that's good. You gotta know what
she want. And she said it just looks so good. She said we got to do something. And she had bought. It's actually a bathing suit. She had gotten that bathing suit from like H&M or something. And I went to the African store and I just found that I'm gonna call it a cloak. And I actually had that the necklace and the other necklace. I had all that, and it's so funny. I still have all that stuff. I actually bought those things in Africa, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the colors. Yeah. I love the colors.
It was beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
So let's go to the next one. We can't leave the men out now. We can't leave the men out.
Wow. So speaking of doing visual work, I got this call while I was at Macy's being a visual lead. And that was one of the reasons I just was like, I can't do this anymore. Because every time I would get a call about styling, my mind would just be focused on that. I wouldn't even be worried about nothing I'm doing at work. I would literally be like, let me go through my phone. I got to find these looks. What an amazing experience to get to work with Day 26. It was a lot.
This is a lot of them. I'm like, how would you able to pull all of them? And they all look good.
I think I had 2 days, maybe even a day and a half. It was not a lot of time. I was very nervous. I had not met any of them. Any of them. So it was like, whew.
You did that though.
Yeah.
You did that. And what did you learn? What did that moment teach you?
Wow. Thinking back to that moment, one of the members was being a little, what's the word I want to use? A little over. I want to.
You say your words kindly, however you want to say it. A little over.
Particular.
There you
go.
Over
particular.
Okay.
Very picky.
Okay.
And I learned in that moment you just have to stand firm. But what I will say, when other people see your work and they know that they can reel people in, and I think some of his group members just kind of had to
them in.
Reel them on in.
Okay.
He was cool after now.
Yeah.
He was definitely cool after, but he was definitely one of them was very, very particular. Over particular.
Okay.
Yeah. Over particular.
Okay. We got another one.
Yes.
Now tell me, what is this right here? What
we
is
call
this
that
collection?
Late.
I'm not gonna play with you.
Now, back then it was on. I mean, this has been. I was still living in Birmingham.
Oh, you was in Birmingham?
I was still living in Birmingham.
What year was this?
This had to be maybe 2014, 15.
Yeah.
This now back then, don't get it wrong. It's a little late now.
Yeah.
But I mean, back then, because looking at this, I would never put that black. I would never put black with a blue dress.
Right.
Never.
But she's giving on that picture now. Face. She's giving.
The shoe stands out, which I think is very aesthetic to my work, even back then.
It does.
Even though it's a little wrong now. But I would never put no black shoe with a blue dress. Unless it had blue in it.
Unless it had blue in it. But tell us the story behind this. And you said you were in Birmingham. So.
I was still living in Birmingham. I think I had just met Heavenly. Or not too long had met her. And we were just doing some promo shots for her. And I think that's how this photo shoot came about. I can't even remember who took this picture or anything. It's been that long.
Wow.
It's been so. I'm actually like I didn't even remember that picture. Yes,
so
at all.
Do you remember any story behind that or anything that moment taught you?
I could say that moment taught me because I think I met Heavenly after being around Erica with Love and Hip Hop. I think it just taught me to grind. So
when you met Erica
and
too with Love and Hip Hop, you were in Birmingham still.
Yeah,
right?
I was.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I was living in Birmingham.
Okay. And I'm sorry I didn't mean to cut you off. Tell me what did it learn? What did it teach you?
the power of networking. You know, once you get in a certain circle, just kind of network.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that could be a little bit of my issue because I can be kind of standoffish because I'm not necessarily, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I'm not necessarily a person that's like, oh, hey, I'm Ryan. How are you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm more like, speak when spoken to. Very much so.
That's something I gotta work on too. But I am bubbly though. I say that I'm bubbly, but I just
unless I know you. Now, if I know you, that's something different. But if I don't know you, I'm just not speak when spoken to.
Yeah, you say speak when spoken to.
Back then when I interned, it always worked.
Yeah.
Oh, now this is you.
Now tell us, what is the name of this fashion collection right here?
Oh, this is giving. Oh, God. We're going to call this Regal Realness.
Ooh, okay, RR.
We're going to call this Regal Realness. I don't think you liked this dress when you first saw it.
I didn't, but then when I saw the look pulled together, it was my favorite. Like, this was like really the moment of it. It was really good. I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Vontae on the hair. He was really good. Like I loved it.
Envy did your makeup correct.
Envy came through. So tell us the story. Tell us the story behind this.
Well, the story is you gave me hell, and I was like, this beep gonna get whatever I bring. If she don't like it or not, the beep gonna wear it. And that's the story behind that.
And that part. And he meant it. And can you tell us, what did that moment teach you?
And all jokes aside, that moment taught me just to be yourself and present what you know is right.
Right.
And also appease your client. You want to also make sure your client is pleased. So, but also standing firm to what you know and what you believe in. Even you have to push them a little bit, but still making them comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, that's one of my fave pics of you too. This, and you have one in the black that I love too.
Yes, so this was for my 40th birthday.
That I was not invited to.
Well, you're going to get an invite this year.
Yeah, okay.
For 41.
I better. I was real salty, but come on. What is the name of this collection?
That's Big Boss. That's Big Boss. That is Big Boss. Standing on business.
Standing on business. Standing on business.
And that coat was heavy as hell.
It looked like it was heavy.
Heavy as hell.
Where did you get that from?
Shout out to the Ivy showroom because I went to Fisk and I said, now look, beep. I ain't got that. Like I can't be spending no $2,000 rent no fur. Like it's my birthday. Can you just go on let me?
Up.
Can you just go on let me look at one? Look at some. Let me pull one. I'm bringing it right back out the photo shoot. And it was so funny. She said, "Go on, child." So I walked in there, looked at the furs. Then I was looking. I was like, I just didn't see nothing. I was like, And I looked at that, and she said, "You would pick out the most expensive beep in here." And I said, "Yeah, I know." But she was like, gone. She said, gone. And I brought it right on back.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, and Rico Chappelle made the suit, shirt, everything. It's actually clipped on me, maybe a little too big, but it was love the suit. Love the suit. Love it. I love the whole thing. Okay. And Derek, of course, took the pictures.
Oh, my gosh. He is so talented. Oh, my gosh. So tell me, what did you learn behind... What was the meaning behind this?
That 40 is fabulous.
It is. I'm telling you, it really is. It really is. I turned 40 last year too. So was it last year?
Yes.
Yeah, it was last year. Oh, so you were 84 too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We the 84s over here. So we're going to get into this next segment. And so we want to talk about the real Christopher Ryan. And I want you to tell me, who are you when the cameras are off, when you're sitting in silence, when you're at home? Who is Christopher Ryan?
Who is Christopher Ryan when I am sitting at home? I am eating lemon pepper chicken wings, watching Tubi, watching Netflix. I love movies. I am a big movie buff. One of my dreams.
What you watching right now?
Oh God, what am I watching? I didn't see just about everything in the theaters. I just saw The Working Man, A Working Man. I am going to see. I can't wait to see The Woman in the Yard.
Yes,
I really want to see that. But Working Man, I saw Jonathan Majors' new movie, which I thought was better than what I expected to be. I was pleasantly surprised. You saw it, like that motherfucker was crazy. I was like, shit. I was like, my God, he was crazy. But it's a message in it, though. Yeah. It really, really is. Because his character could have turned to something that wouldn't have been good at all. Yeah. But it speaks a lot to mental health. But yeah, I watch a lot of movies. I smoke a lot of hookah. I love me a cocktail. I think anybody that knows me knows I love a cocktail. If anybody wants to see me in Atlanta or run into me, I shouldn't even say this on here, but I mean, it is true. I mean, you'll run into me anyway. I stay at Casa.
He said I
literally
stay at Casa.
That is like my...
Every time I FaceTime Ryan, what you doing?
Smoking hookah. It is sad.
I will be FaceTiming him. What you doing?
Smoking hookah.
I know, baby. I know.
Smoking hookah. I mean, but that's just me. But I'm such a chill person at heart. Like I'm not out. Like I don't be trying to be seen. I'm a creature of habit. I go to where I feel comfortable, and that's just how I roll.
But you just Ryan. You just lemon pepper hookah, lemon pepper chill Ryan. So let me ask you this. So what is one of the hardest things that you would say you had to heal from while people are clapping for you and thinking that you're doing something just so big and amazing, but you are on the inside dealing with something? What
I didn't know this was going to be a therapy session. That is a loaded question.
It's pow, 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 pow.
It definitely is. One thing that I had to heal from, I think, and I wouldn't even say that I'm healed from it, but when people, because I'm not healed from it, so I ain't got to think. When people think, when you look at your social media and they think you're doing it and you could be struggling, like bad, like you could not be working, hadn't had a gig, that's hard for me because people see you as, oh my God, I know he doing it, and blah blah this and blah blah that and blah, and it's like, well, really, I ain't doing it, and then it's kind of like, but everybody see me like I'm doing it, and then like if I go somewhere, I get asked to go somewhere, I gotta look like I'm doing it, I gotta feel like I'm doing it, I gotta be happy, and I gotta put on a smile, or if I get a gig to speak somewhere or to go to a fashion show, I can have $5 in my pocket, but because of Ryan they see on social media, I got to show up and look a certain type of way and be a certain type of way. And that can become, it can become draining, and it's very hard. And people don't really understand that I too struggle. Yeah. Sometimes they see pictures, they be, oh, I remember somebody called me when Queen's Court came out, and they were like, oh, I know you got a check. I just saw, you posted. I was like, actually, that check had came and gone last year because the show was filmed the year before it came out. Right. So, yeah, I did get a check for it. Yeah, but guess it's gone. What? That check came, and trust me, it is gone. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the next thing.
But how do you deal with that mentally, and how do you just deal with that overall? Because you talk to a lot of people, you have to deal with it really on a day-to-day basis.
I just deal. Yeah. To be honest with you, I just deal. Yeah. I can't say it's a certain thing that I do to deal with it. I just deal. I just make it work. I try to have strong faith and believe in God. But sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'll be like, God, did you forget about me? Yeah. Like, and my faith be like, so when your faith is, it's just like when your fuel in your car is low, your car ain't gonna work. Yeah. So when your faith and yourself is low, you kind of like, oh, shit. So, I mean, it's been days that I've literally been laying there like, what I'm going to do. Like, what I'm going to do.
But he always bring you out of it, though.
It be in the nick of time. They say he don't come when he want, when you want to. But he right come on time. And sometimes he been right on the money. Like, I'm talking about right in the nick of time. But I do believe that, and I do believe that God hasn't taken me this far just to be like, this is not. But we're living in some very hard times.
Yeah, we are. We really are.
And so,
we really are. So let me ask you this: have you ever had to grieve a version of yourself that is here now?
Grieve a
version of Ryan, a past version of Ryan that is here now, that got yourself here now. No. So you like
I'm better.
Really?
I'm not grieving any. No.
I know.
I was worse back then. Trust.
Really?
I told you earlier. Now, when I wasn't doing nothing, that's when I had the nasty attitude. I definitely don't grieve that.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Like no. I don't grieve that. I'm thankful to be who I am now.
So let me ask you this: what is something else that you think that people don't understand about being in your position as a stylist?
It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
More
Make
work
sure
than
you
people.
tell them.
More work than people think.
Right.
They just think, oh, it's a day of the photo shoot. No, we work days before the photo shoot, days after the photo shoot. You have to, do all your post and pre. So it's a lot of work. You're not always getting it like, they think you're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not glamorous. It's not a glamorous job.
But everybody think that it's just so glamorous.
But you have some people who in it because they make it because they want to be the star. I understand.
Say that again.
I understand. I'm the background.
Right.
Like I get it. I'm the glorified help, and I understand that, and I don't have no issue with it at all. Like I understand it. I get it.
Right.
It is never my moment. When I'm working, it is never my moment.
Yeah.
I have times like this is my moment.
Yes.
Like these are times where it's your moment.
Yes.
But I think we have a lot of people that always want it to be their moment because they just want to be seen, and that's probably why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But no, I know I'm the glorified help. I accept it. I receive it, and I do my job damn well.
You do,
and I know that is what I am. And I say glorified help because it is glorified help.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have issues with that. Like I think I was on set one day, and somebody was like, "Well, I don't call myself the glorified help." I'm like, "Well, girl, I mean that's what you is.
Really
I mean, if you want to just call a spade,
yeah.
I mean that's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a problem getting called the help, and not in a demeaning way, but if you have, if you have a problem getting called the help, then I mean that just is what it is. I don't have no like I'm glorified help. I'm not. But in those moments, you will have these. You work hard so you can have moments to where it is your time.
It is,
and it is your time. It is your spotlight, and it is your moment.
Right.
Because those moments will come
if
you continue to grind. I've been behind the scenes a very, very long time. I can remember when I was working with Sean, and I will never forget this. Speaking on, being spoken to.
Right.
I wouldn't say nothing to nobody on them sets.
Really?
I would walk in, whatever Sean asked me to do, but that made people ask her, "Who is he?" Well, who? Oh, that's your son. Oh, who is he? I wouldn't say nothing to nobody unless they spoke to me. I can remember Carlos King took very, very liking to me. Shout out to Carlos. I mean, to see that now, he didn't grow to a whole nother level. He on his, he doing his big one. But back then he was doing Housewives, and this was around season 2, 3 of the show when I was interning with Sean. And I can remember, eventually he just started speaking to me like, okay, well, who is this boy? And I would speak back. I can remember when she was doing Kim, I was so nervous. We were doing her for something, and I didn't really say nothing to her. She didn't really say nothing to me. And it's so funny. I left that day saying, I don't really think she liked me. And lo and behold, somebody was like, no, she actually talked about you a lot on the way home. She's like, she actually thought how nice you were and how gentle you were. But I think people appreciate people that's not always in their face and making them, they just make them feel like, or treat them like a normal person.
Right.
So I'll never be that guy that's just like, trying to find a moment when I know it ain't my moment. Like I said, I speak when spoken to. If I know you, that's something completely different. If I build a rapport, if I have a rapport with you, I'm gonna always, I can still. But if I don't,
I'm gonna stay away
until you're comfortable, until I feel the energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, and that's big important to me.
I love that. So, and then being on sets and doing the things that you have done really taught you a whole lot how to move in the industry of what you're in right now, too. Like, because it's just a whole nother world.
But now I do think,
tell me,
a lot of these people like folks that, kind of praise them, and them gonna be the people that's always in their faces. They like yes men, and the ones that's running, oh man. I think we living in that time where people love that. Like I don't know if it's because they have a little bit, they need that to boost their ego, but I do see that some people kind of need that to make them
feel bigger than what they really are.
And I ain't that one.
So let's talk about business and your brand strategy. Did you ever have like a business brand strategy? And what would you don't make that face. And what would you say, what would you say your strategy was?
For me to have a degree in business administration, I sure didn't have no business strategy. I just went for what I knew. And my strategy was, let me take what I see Sean do, mix it up, and make my own process out of what I saw her do. That's literally what's my strategy.
Wow. And how did
that may not be a great thing, but it was.
But no, it is. I agree. I mean, I will say, even for me, my strategy with my business, I saw another woman who really owned a lot of foster care agencies. She was doing some big things. And when I saw it, I was like, I was in the field. It's something I want to do. And so you look up to people who are doing the things that you aspire to do. And so you ain't copycatting, but you learning because you're seeing like, hey, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
But now, looking on, and I know this ain't we shouldn't always look to Instagram, but now I'm seeing these motherfuckers. I'm like, nah, I need another strategy.
Exactly.
They wearing Chanel, everything, Range Rovers, G-Wagons, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm just in my little car in my little townhouse. I'm like, now hold on, like, what am I like? Do I need another strategy? But I don't think some of them folks, I don't think I want the strategy today.
I don't think you want that strategy.
I don't think I want that strategy because I don't want to be in jail.
We don't want to be in jail. Yeah. We don't want to be in jail. So it's funny that you said that. So tell me, what is your
I've been in jail one time, and I don't ever.
He's out.
One night.
To go back.
I wasn't even at 24 hours, and it was HELL. Yeah.
So we don't want their strategy.
No.
We don't want their strategy.
Because I couldn't do it.
So speaking of their strategy, because I'm not going to say this is everyone, but it can be some in their perception of what people see on Instagram. Do you ever feel that, and what you really did talk about this already, do you feel pressure though to fake it till you make it a whole lot? Do you feel like that's something that you have to do to be a stylist? You think that it's necessary?
In certain forms, yes.
Yeah.
But you cannot let that become who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. Yeah, you're going to have to put on a little for Instagram. Okay, I get it.
Put a little on for the gram.
You're going to have to put a little on. I get it, But, and I would do it, but I don't let that become who I am because that's what attracts people to me. People want to see you in a nice car and all this kind of stuff. So, and with the celebrities and with the entertainers, and that's because people will literally be like, I want to use him because that's he friends with so and so. I use so and so stylist. I use him because he friends with so. They want to be able to be associated with something.
Yeah,
they don't even care what it is.
Yeah,
as long as they want to be associated with these TV entertainers and these celebrities and these rappers and these artists, and they just want to be. They want to be just tied to something.
Yeah.
And I think, so yeah, you absolutely do. But you just cannot let that define you. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, and some people I know, unfortunately, I think from what I see, it has let them define them. It won't define me.
Yeah.
Because, I understand, like, And I ain't really
That's
got
one
it.
thing I love about you, though. You don't. Like, you are very honest, very open, very real. Like, you're not trying to, like, act like you're something that you're not or you have something that you don't have. You've never done that. Ever. Ever.
I'll tell you a story.
You tell me a story.
I had a friend, and I remember I had a birthday party, not my 40th. I think it was the year before that. And I asked her to come to, and she works in the industry as well. And I asked her to come to a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because when she first met me, she didn't like me.
Somebody didn't like you?
And for the reason that she thought I was grandiose and bougie. But she didn't say anything to me. But we had a mutual friend, and so that's how that got smashed.
Okay, people just...
But, and I remember she didn't come. And we had a conversation about it one day.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I ain't had no money. And I was like, well, you should have said something. You would have been straight. Like, you would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, wow, that really resonated in her. And she later told me, she's like, that meant a lot to her.
Mm.
And I got in a bind.
Yeah.
And as I get in many. But don't get it twisted. I get in many. I get in many. But I got in a bind, and I was telling her, we were out one day about it, and my girl looked out for me, literally on the spot.
Mm.
And she said, because I remember what you told me when I said I didn't have no money.
Mm. Wow.
And she was like, this ain't even, she said, you ain't even got to pay this back. This is...
Just take it.
Yeah, she did.
Well, and it just lets you know, like, when people really do genuinely care about you. And that's why it's always good to be yourself, regardless, and tell people honestly what's going on with you, because you don't know what they're dealing with either.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of associates and friends that are actors, and some of them are rising actors.
Mm-hmm. It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle.
And they on popular shows.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
And they may not be the star of the show.
Right.
But they are on popular, they are on popular shows. And then I have friends who are the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
And,
and they still...
and these shows are a lot when you playing characters that ain't really you, like it's a lot.
Yeah,
so
mentally.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about the financial no more. It's just a lot to deal with, period.
Yeah. So being in this industry with styling and everything changing and evolving, how do you stay innovative? Like, how do you keep that
That's
going?
a good question, because I think we are leaning into less talent and more who has access.
Say that again.
And access don't always mean talent.
It don't. Ooh, me and my friend have talked about this. We've talked about it. Yeah.
Just because you have access to pull gowns from all these designers and showrooms and stuff, that don't mean you have talent. I think talent to me is going and running these stores and they literally pulling a look together.
And I
ain't talking about one off the mannequin.
No, but it's hard. But some people...
jacket from Neiman's, pants from Zara,
right.
Shirt from H&M,
right.
Shoes from Saks, like literally some from ASOS, like literally pulling a look together. A piece from Kyra, then some from Bergdorf's, some from that. But
that's talent.
And I think we just leaning towards access.
Yeah. And what about making yourself different from not styling like everybody else? Like, how do you stand apart? Because a lot of times, we do what we see. We see a lot of people just, following the trends, following the things that go on. I have been guilty to it too, child. But how do you, not fall into that trap?
Continue to show versatility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you ever look at my page, you will see that everything may not speak to you, but you'll be like, okay, I like this. I don't care if you're a stripper to a judge. I want you to look at my page and feel like, oh, this boy can style me.
Like, he can do something with this.
And that's very important to me.
Yeah.
So versatility, that's the answer to that question. And keep showing versatility. Yes.
Okay.
There is something, like even the picture of the day 26, they each... Even though the look was cohesive, they each had their individual look.
Yeah.
I just did a gospel group, Ahmad Hall and Friends, and although that I didn't just do it, we been did it, but it should come out. late April. But Ahmad Hall and Friends, it was a guy and 2 girls, and they have a new single coming out. And when I look at that picture, and I've seen it edited, it is 3 completely, totally different looks. Each individual person's style. Never had met them. I only kind of just really looked through their pictures and stuff like that and kind of got their style, especially the females. I mean, it was spot on. But when you look at the picture together, it's so cohesive. And it's just like, oh, they look like a group. And nobody is fighting.
It's fighting each other. Yeah.
It's just really,
but
really
mentally,
cohesive.
how do you do? Like, that is really a God-given talent.
I don't know. I think that you're going to have to ask
serious.
God. Call him up on the main line and ask him.
Because I'm going to tell you, like, yesterday, I was stressing so hard about this simple denim look. Like, I was like, oh, like, it really is a talent because everybody can't do it. And then you just do it, like, at the drop of a dime. Like, I bet you it don't even take you that long.
Well, not all the time. I do be stressing out, you know, and I'd be like, what? Because I'm meticulous. So I'm like, what shoe? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Even with this, I'm like, okay, what shoe do? I have a shoe. I ain't got a shoe. Then I'm like, oh, I do have a shoe. Well, do I like the shoe with this? I don't know if I like the shoe. Let me try something else. Well, is it too matchy?
You're just playing with it all.
So for myself, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes even styling others.
That's what I was going to say. Do you
I'm
find it easier to style others than yourself?
No and yes.
Okay.
Because I can be meticulous even in that, which I'm supposed to be because that's my work.
Right.
But no and yes. I think with me, I still have to, even though like sometimes I may have to convince the client, I may give a client hell. Sometimes I give myself hell about something. I'm like, this ain't it. And I'm like, how can I make this work? And then sometimes I'd be like, you know what?
Just
F
forget
it.
it.
I'm finna just wear it.
So we're going to get into another segment.
Yes.
We got another game for you.
I like these games. Bring them on. I do. I love these games.
So,
I feel like I'm gonna watch what happens live. So you know, I like this.
Good. I'm
like
glad
this.
you like it. You were the first one we've done games with, so you need to feel special. Well, you are special. Don't need to feel. You are special.
Thank you.
Are, okay.
I appreciate it.
So we are gonna play Would You Rather Style Edition. All right, you got it. So I'm gonna give you 2 choices. You pick one, but you have to tell me why.
Pick one and why.
Yes. Pick one and why, okay? And I don't even have to say this part to you. I don't want you to give me just the PG version. I want you to give me the real version. So you good at that. I don't even got to tell you.
Let's go. Go with it. Oh, Lord, let's go with it. Let's go with it.
So couture or vintage?
And
you got to tell me why.
I'm going to have to go with couture.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go with couture simply because my eye is definitely going to go to more of expensive things.
I could see that.
That vintage may be a struggle for me. I once went to the thrift store with a thrift stylist. I was still picking out the highest shit in there. So I'm going to go with couture. And I think couture would be a lot different, you know.
It's totally different.
Do you know what couture really means? We know what a real couture, you know what that means?
Tell me.
Now, I want to see if you know, because everybody want to throw couture on it. This couture, this
it's
couture,
original,
this is couture.
right? It's original, handmade.
It's
Got
handmade.
Got
That's what couture. So everything this folks saying is couture ain't couture.
Yeah. So if it ain't handmade,
but
it ain't couture.
I'm not picking couture just because it's handmade. I'm picking it more
like the style and the versatility.
The black folks version of being outrageous and stuff, which is couture. But if it's not handmade, it's not couture.
Yeah. Okay. So this next one is: would you rather success with no peace or peace with no spotlight? I'm gonna say it again for you.
But it come with money. Which one come with a check?
Either one now. It says success with no peace. And success don't really necessarily have to be the money.
It sure don't.
It don't have to be the money.
Fame.
Like, yeah. So it's success with no peace or peace with no spotlight.
Because I never got into this business to be seen, this was something I just love to do. It would definitely be
peace with no spotlight.
Peace with no spotlight. Because
I could see that for you. I could see that for you. I could see that for you. So my next one is: would you rather a big budget but a little time, or a lot of time and a small budget?
Big budget and a little time.
I should have known that, John. We already know that.
Big budget and a little time. I've been told that They feel like I've been told like I'm better at last minute. I don't want people to think that though, because I'm like,
you don't want.
I've had somebody call me at 8:00 in the morning and said they flight leave at 8 at night. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is, would you rather style someone grateful but insecure, or confident but controlling?
Oh,
I bet you've had both.
that is a good one. Say that again.
So would you rather style someone grateful but they're insecure, or someone who's confident but they're controlling?
I want to choose both because for different reasons. Because they both have ups and downs. But in this job, everything, some things have ups and downs. You have to roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say grateful but insecure.
Okay.
I'm going to say grateful but insecure.
And why?
Because I like to work with people who are grateful for what you do and understand the level of what you do and really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think the sad thing would come with insecure. They're going to always question everything. But I think I could deal with that because I think I have the type of energy that can
build them up.
That builds you up. And I think because I truly work from inside out, they're probably going to be built up anyway.
Yeah. I can see that. So this last one is, would you rather obedience or opportunity?
I'm going to say obedience because I think the right opportunity would come with obedience. Ooh. And every opportunity is not the right opportunity.
Say that again. Say it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, would you rather start over at 18 with everything you know now, or stay exactly where you are here?
I think I'm going to have to start over at 18 with everything I know now.
And why, y'all? Why?
Because, the mistakes I wouldn't make.
Right.
The mistakes I would not make.
Right.
That is why.
Right.
I wouldn't be running up credit cards and not paying them off because those are essential to if you need to get some and take it back or however you need to get your stuff to do what you need to do. That is essential to that. I wouldn't be, a lot of things. Okay. Yes. I
would just start over at 18 with what you know now.
Yes, I would. I would. Yes. Okay. I can't even say yes. That's all I can say.
That's all I can say. Yes. So the next one is, would you rather be known for your style or your story?
Wow. Leaving a true legacy, I feel like people have to know who you are. So I want to be known for my story. Because if you know me from my story, you're going to know me from my style.
Yeah.
But if you know me from my style, you're not going to know me from my story. See, you ain't know I had this much common sense, did you?
I'm not going to play with him today. Okay. So in your story, what would you say, what did it cost you to answer your calling of being a stylist in your story?
Comfortability. It cost me peace sometimes. It cost me stability.
You gonna say that for the second time?
Yeah.
You say that's stability.
Yeah, it definitely cost that.
But with it costing that, do you think that it's been worth it?
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Sometimes I feel like it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has. If I'm gonna be truly honest, it has. I have been blessed to meet and work with people who I've never thought I would have met in a lifetime, and been in spaces that I never thought that I would be in the space of, and people have seen me, seen my work, or know of me that I've never thought would have known of me. And I think just the opportunities that have been given to me, I think are something that is just priceless, that you couldn't pay for. And so for that, yes, I do think that is very, very worth it. Even though sometimes when I'm down and out, I don't. But if I'm gonna be honest with myself, then yeah, it definitely
So
is.
with that being worth it and everything that you've experienced, what would you say grounds and center you now?
What grounds and centers me now is knowing the times when I ain't, when it ain't like what it is.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what keep me grounded. Yeah. Like, nigga, you said you ain't always, there. Yeah. So remember them times that you ain't there.
Yeah.
Because
he will humble you
just like it come, it can
go.
definitely go.
It sure can.
And when you know that, that's kind of like, because I think some of these folks don't realize, like, just as quick as you up here, you can
down here.
Definitely be down here.
Yeah.
So I don't never want to forget who I am, where I come from, where I started from, my story, with my struggles. Because let me tell you something, even in people's highest points, everybody struggles with something.
Everybody struggles with something. Everybody.
So I don't never want to forget my struggles.
Yeah. So remembering your struggles center you and ground you and make you be like, look, we remember them times now.
Because I'm human.
Yeah.
Human.
But I think that when people see people, like I said earlier, at a certain caliber, they act like they're not human, and they are. You know what I mean? And I think that is something that, people have to understand, that you're just a regular person like everybody else.
Right. You are, I'll say this. Sometimes I tell people I'm the most regular person you'll meet.
Non-regular person that
I'm the most
non-regular,
regular person you'll meet. And I think that when you look at people and different artists and that have reached this extreme, let's take, for instance, Beyonce. And I think Beyonce, from what I've heard, she's a very nice woman. Very nice, very kind, almost timid, if you will. And I think she understands, hey, I'm Beyonce. I can't necessarily do, I ain't normal, but I'm normal, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And I think, and I learned that even when I first met Lisa Ray, that was one of the things. She was like, I know I'm Lisa Ray, but I'm still human. I wanted to go. I remember when we were at the game, we leaving the football game, she rolled down the truck window and just asked this girl that was walking out the game, like, hey, where you get them, where you get that funnel cake from? And she wanted to walk out and walk through the crowd. They was like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. But knowing that someone shows you that they're a regular person and they're still human, and knowing that it humbles you and it makes you understand that you got to keep yourself humble and keep yourself grounded with the things that comes from your foundation.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's really big.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to. So let me ask you.
I'm ready for another game.
Oh my gosh. Kyra done got you hooked on these games.
I love these games. I do. They're thought-provoking. I love them.
They are, but we don't have no more games.
Oh,
we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end. So I want to know, what is next for you? What is next for the brand? What is next for the man all together? What is next for you?
What is next for me? I always answer this question first and say, whatever God has in store for me, that's what's next for me. I think in the climax that we're living in, it's kind of like, what else can I do to, be in the same space that I am, but just create more opportunities for myself. And one of those things I've done, and it's a newborn baby still, but I have the High Arch, which is a high-end luxury rental shoe business.
Yes.
And I think I started that because as a stylist, it's so hard to pull shoes.
Yeah.
People don't let you pull shoes, really. Because one, you can't, really keep the bottom of them, in tip-top condition, especially if they're wearing them somewhere. And sometimes everybody doesn't want to necessarily spend $1,000 or $1,500 on a shoe they're going to spend one time, or $2,000 on a shoe they're going to spend one time. And I am a shoe guy. I've always been a shoe whore.
That is my favorite. I know that should not be a favorite word, but I always say I'm a habitual boundary crosser. And I always say I ain't gonna say what I say, but go ahead. But I use that saying a lot.
Yeah, I'm definitely am, and it shows in my work.
And glasses too. You love glasses as well.
I ain't gonna rent no sunglasses.
Yeah, but I'm still waiting on my glasses. But yeah,
I do love shades.
You love shades.
I do.
And shoes.
I do.
So the shoe room. So how long have you had it open?
It's been about maybe a year.
Okay.
And we just I'll be honest, I haven't been pushing it like I need to push it, but I'm starting. And hopefully this year we'll have we're inside the store in Phipps, JoJo's Atelier.
Okay.
Small version of shoes, and of course I have tons at home. But I'm like, I need these motherfuckers to start renting so I can get more shoes. Y'all bleeped up that word. I'm sorry. But
they gonna bleep it. I can't say
no, this bleep it out. I know. This what y'all said. This is it's faith and fashion. Not
it's faith and
fashion.
fashion.
I can't. I know the church people watching. So,
but everybody is what I like to say is that everybody has their own thing. And so I don't think that it's wrong for you expressing yourself how you express. And it doesn't bother me, and it's fine. And it's good.
And I would actually love to get in front of the camera some. I've done it before. A lot of people don't know that. I've done it before.
I definitely see you in front of the camera.
I feel like I've been around it so much, I think I can mentally take it until I probably get in front of the camera and be like, oh, this is a little too much. But I did a show years ago, Thicker Than Water. I was a friend to Brooklyn Tankard on the third season of the show. And it was an amazing experience. It really, really was. It was an amazing experience. And I think it taught me a lot. And it taught me about just getting out of my shell. Because, again, I told you even before we started filming, like I'm a very shy guy.
Person.
And I think those were the things that kind of got me out of my element a little bit of being shy. But I would love to do that. I think that somebody, Carlos.
Yes, both of us, Carlos.
Somebody, Candy, you just got a development deal with Bravo. I want someone, and even if I'm not on it, I truly want to see a show that shows the hustle and bustle behind the spotlight.
And people don't understand, the people behind the spotlight make everything happen. And
we haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And I get it, the housewives and all that kind of stuff. We love it, but I really want somebody to create a show that is really like behind the lens, behind the camera, and give some spotlight to some of the people who don't always get to be seen.
Oh, well, you heard it first. And so if something pop off, we're going to say, Ryan, that was from Ryan. It was from you.
I may not get the credit or nothing. May not be on it, but I hope they put me on it now.
They're going to put you on it.
Yeah, somebody now.
They're going to put you on it. So let me ask you this. What is something right now in this season in your life that you are asking God for, but it might be a little scary, but you're asking him for? What are you asking God for in this season? Don't start.
Now y'all just wanted me to keep it real now.
Look.
Now, y'all want me to, if there's a stitch in the story, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you one now. Right now, I'm just asking God to keep a check coming. Let's be real. Let's.
I can't take you. God, he asking for you to keep a check.
Just keep a check coming.
Keep a check coming.
Yes.
Just keep a
legal check coming. Because they say be careful what you ask for. But I don't think God will give you nothing getting illegal. But a legal check coming. Just, Lord God, please just keep a check coming to your
That's what you asking
to your
for
son.
Right now.
Yes.
Okay. And so tell me, what legacy are you sowing right now?
Woo. I'm going to answer. I think that for me, one of the only things that I can say is to live in your dreams or live your dreams. But I feel like that is truly a question for somebody else to ask. Because really your legacy is what others think of you. So not what I think of myself.
So the legacy that you want to leave for yourself. Don't try to get out of it.
You just reworded that.
Just reword.
I think that the legacy that I would like to live is, for one, like I said, live your dreams. Mm-hmm. Don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. And do it authentically of who you are. Yeah. And never lose sight
of who you are. Yeah.
Because if one of the things that you want to do is to get into entertainment, it's very easy to lose sight of who you are. Yeah. So always stay can't even talk now.
You got it.
Always stay true to yourself. Living who you are authentically. Don't, I now that I've gotten older, and I know we see a lot of things on Instagram. Yeah. And I mean, some of the stuff I do laugh at, but a lot of these people, even the ones that look like clowns, one thing that I can honestly say is that they're being who they are. Yeah. Authentically. Yeah. With unapologetically. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hey, you
like it or you love it. You take it or you leave it.
And I think everybody can read a page out of that book, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that living in your truth.
I might not agree with it, but I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, but living in your truth and living, like you said, authentically in who you are, I think that that's something real important. And it has been something I know for me for sure that I have struggled with a whole lot with my faith, with me, who I am. And so I honestly, truly believe that living in your true testament of who you are is something that's real important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's important. And not caring what others think about you.
And that's hard.
And knowing who you are so that someone can't tell you who you're not.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Because people are very cruel.
Very cruel and judgmental.
That's very hard.
Cruel. Very cruel and judgmental.
That's very hard. And I think that's even hard for me, when I post things and, and sometimes I look at other and I'm like, well, they ain't gonna like this because it doesn't look like what this person is doing and what that person is doing and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, trust me, I struggle with that as well. Yeah.
So, to wrap things up, if you could tell 15-year-old Ryan anything about yourself, what would you say? I want you to talk to 15-year-old Ryan and say,
save some money.
Look, can you re-edit this? Look, let me reword the question for him. I can't get no deep answers out of him, child. Listen. If your mic was a mirror, all right, and you could speak directly to 15-year-old version of yourself, what would you say?
What would I say to my 15-year-old self? And I feel like I've said this 10 gazillion times. But I think I would say to my 15-year-old self to be encouraged, stay encouraged, and no matter whether it's parents, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, do what you feel in your heart you're called to do. Nobody knows what you're called to do but you. Yeah. So you have to believe in that, and that means no matter what nobody says. Yeah. So if you feel like you ain't called to go to college and you called to go to the military, or you called to go do this, or you called to go to barber school or cosmetologist school, I don't care if that's a job that most women do, or I don't care if it's a job that they see where men don't do that, or that's for this, or that's for somebody that's like this. No, do what you know. Yeah. In your heart that you're called to do. Follow your heart.
I love that. And save some money.
Absolutely. Because it'll save you a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
A lot of stress.
It will. Well, this is the end of our show. You don't want it to end, huh?
I don't.
Oh, I love that. If you don't want it to end, that means that you really had a good time.
I think it was good.
It was excellent.
I think we need an audience.
I think we just talked about us doing
I couldn't get an audience.
Maybe You'll be able to have an audience the next time.
And maybe I'll be on TV next time too.
Well, don't forget about the small people.
Oh, I'll never forget it.
Don't forget about the small people.
There is no small people to me. I am a small person. I am a small person, literally. I'm a small guy.
But for real though, you know, we have, and I've been asking God for this for some time, is to have a live show. And you know, by you saying that, even by me coming into this space earlier when I saw they had to show up, and then coming here, I was like, you know, God, and I was just telling, I forgot his name, but I was telling him, you know, we really are trying to put on a live show, and we want multiple guests too as well. And so for you saying that, I think that is something that, you know, we're gonna make happen. I think a live show is really fun. I think it's gonna be really fun. I think it will. So you're gonna be back for the live show?
I'll come back for the live show. Y'all send me don't send me a ticket. Give me a little stipend. I come on
ticket
back.
And stipend, child. A TNS. Send him a ticket and stipend, child. We gonna send him a ticket and stipend, child. But no, I really am so thankful that you have come. I know we've been trying to make this happen for a minute, and so I'm just thankful that you even took a little chance on little old me to be here.
That's another thing we're gonna have to stop saying. I'm working on that too. Start saying little.
I know.
I'm working on it too.
It's hard. It's hard because because you feel like, I'm just gonna be honest with you, like you feel like you are not where you should be or where others are that you aspire to be. And so when you think of that as yourself, you're like, I'm not that girl. I'm not this. You can have all the confidence in your world. Everybody has someone that they look up to or some place where they want to be at.
That's true.
And so you just, that's just how you feel. And I do have those moments sometimes. People like, oh, you, no, like, child, you don't know the half. That right there, she know the half, but you don't know the half. You don't know the half of it. Like, you don't know.
Oh.
You don't know. And so, but I think it's just us being hard on ourselves too, and just trusting God through the process though. So, but I'm gonna work on stop saying little old me, you know? I'm gonna work on it.
Yeah, I'm working on it too.
It's hard.
It's putting little in front of everything.
Yeah. Ryan, thank you so much for coming and sharing your testimony. Can you tell everyone where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on IG. It's at Ryan Is Style. And you can follow me on Facebook, Ryan Christopher. And you can look on my website, ryanchristopherstylist.com.
Yes, and you can follow us at the Sow and Seed Pod on IG and at Nicole Mays Jackson. And to our listeners, keep sowing boldness, growing in grace, and believing that every thread in your story was stitched by divine design. Until next time, I'm your girl, Nicole Mays Jackson, and this is the Sow and Seed Podcast.